the last couple of days, I've been questioning everything, based on the responses to my own review and the abysmal box office numbers for Furiosa. I had to stop and ask myself, am I fighting a losing battle? Well, I saw a couple of tweets that put things into perspective for me, and one in particular that actually made me laugh. And the one that made me laugh came from Devin Sawa, of all places. Imagine this for a second. Members of the Chucky TV series cast are making more sense talking about this movie than some of the other people online. And Devin said, quote, Furiosa might be the best film I've seen this year so far. But stay home and watch TikTok videos, I guess. Couldn't have said it better myself. Let's discuss.
I watch so you don't have to.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
So Furiosa is estimated to open with $31 million domestically, on a production budget of $168 million, which again does not include marketing costs. It also turns out that this would be the worst Memorial Day weekend opening in nearly 3 decades. So I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't keep the same energy with this film that I keep with every single film that flops. Yes, I did like this film, and yes, I do think that it's one of the best movies I've seen all year. But the reality of the situation, like with most movies that flop, is that this movie didn't do enough to entice general audiences. Dare I say, maybe the Mad Max franchise in general isn't the cash cow that some people think it is. If you remember, Fury Road, which is a phenomenal film, didn't exactly light the world on fire either at the box office. So I'm inclined to believe that this franchise just isn't appealing to general audiences anymore.
That makes sense.
I've had people come to me over the last 48 hours and say, how can you like this? It's nothing but a cash grab. To which I would respond, I don't think you understand what a cash grab actually is. A cash grab is Hollywood trying to capitalize on something that is already established by putting in minimal effort and creating something that has literally no lasting impression on you. And oftentimes, the cash grab also does damage to the perception of the franchise as a whole. And in my opinion, Furiosa would not qualify. It quite literally tried to do something different, both from a filmmaking perspective and by expanding on this universe. And that is precisely what people who haven't seen it yet seem to dislike about it most. Do you know how many times I've heard this week, why did they make a Mad Max movie without Mad Max? Not only a somewhat robotic response at this point, but it's also inaccurate. This is very clearly not a Mad Max film. It is advertised and presented as Furiosa's story and nothing more. It's not like they did a bait and switch. They told you from the very beginning that this is what this movie was about. Just because it takes place in the world of Mad Max does not mean that this qualifies as a gender swap, like everyone is claiming that it is at this point in time. When it comes right down to it, I'm not going to make excuses for this film failing, because that's not what I do here. Sometimes studios just spend too much on a film and they overestimate its potential. And no matter how good it might be, it still gets overlooked. Let's be clear, the sky is not falling and cinema is not dead, at least not yet. For those who enjoyed this movie, you will have it now forever to enjoy, and for those who didn't care about it, you can just continue to ignore it. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little disappointed, mostly because these box office numbers pretty much guarantees that we will not be getting the follow-up to Fury Road in Mad Max Wasteland.
Why do these things always happen to me?
But what can I say? You cannot make people be interested in something that they are not, so it is what it is. My question is, what is the real reason that no one is interested in this movie? And there's been a lot of speculation over the past couple of days as to what that is. You have your usual BS, like people blaming bad theater experiences and rising ticket prices. I see a lot of people blaming streaming and the fact that studios release films onto streaming too close to their original theatrical release. While I do blame streaming for a lot of things, it has more to do with how streaming has made audiences lazy. Because now it's all about convenience rather than getting the best product possible, or consuming that product in the most effective way. How many times have we seen mediocre on streaming services get overhyped by people simply because it's readily available for them to watch. Not a good look for films that are in theaters that are actually putting in the work, and yes, they do still exist.
You serious?
Which brings me to the excuse that I've heard more than any other. And it's not even an excuse so much as it is an accusation. And these accusations are mostly coming from people who didn't even watch the movie, and are basically just making general statements that suit their individual narratives. But I've heard people say that the reason that this film failed is because it has a female lead, with one neckbeard even saying that this is proof that audiences are tired of female protagonists. It's an interesting theory, and a lot of it is rooted in people making assumptions about this movie, or just flat out making it out to be something that it's not. When it comes right down to it, these people who are saying these things had their mind made up about this movie a long time ago. And it's simply because they are not looking at things on a case-by-case basis. Apparently, if they see a woman in a lead role, apparently that automatically makes it political, or it has an agenda behind it.
Put a chick in it, make her gay!
And that I do not understand, because if you actually watch this movie, it is not your everyday modern Hollywood schlock, with a puppet director put in place to basically carry out the studio's bidding. This is a film with a vision, and it has a true visionary at the helm. To lump this movie in with a lot of other films who have admittedly horribly written female protagonists is doing this film a disservice. And I stand by that wholeheartedly. This movie did not fail because it has a female protagonist. It failed because, like always, it did not strike a chord with general audiences overall. Now, something else I wanted to address, because it does kind of fit into this conversation, was the reaction to my positive review of this film. With some people even going as far as to say that I must be getting paid to say nice things about this movie, and that I should be ashamed of myself for my review. Basically calling me a shill without actually saying it.
Boo this man!
What's interesting about being a YouTuber, and more specifically, a free-thinking YouTuber who does not allow himself to get blinded by BS narratives, is that you come to realize very quickly that you are not going to be able to please everyone. Eventually, you are going to piss someone off because of how deeply rooted some people are in this phantom culture war. One minute I'm a grifter who hates everything, the next I'm a shill who's getting paid for positive reviews. Both things are proof that people pretty much just say things without thinking, and really don't have a f***ing clue as to who or what I am actually about. So let me make this very clear, just in case there are some of you who might have gotten the wrong impression about me. And maybe that's my fault, or maybe you just saw a few videos and thought you had everything figured out. I am not a part of any movement. The only set of ideals I live by are my own.
Goddamn right, that's the only way I work, Cap.
My only real goal with this channel, outside of creating a space for people to talk about films free of ridicule, is period point blank, I criticize because I want what's best for films. And when I see a good film, I'm going to tell you about it. And I have no obligation whatsoever to tell you what you want to hear. If you disagree with my opinion, that's fine, just do so in a respectful fashion. What you don't do is question my integrity, because I have a zero tolerance policy for bullshit like that. I have an even lower tolerance for people telling me how I'm supposed to feel, especially when they didn't even watch the movie I'm talking about themselves. If you have no interest in the film, that's fine, I get it. I can understand why you would feel that way. But please don't come to me with your chest out simply because you heard something somewhere about this film, and I'm not validating that opinion.
Not up in here! Not up in here!
There's a reason that I don't watch a lot of other channels, and it's simply because I don't really give a shit what they have to say. I started this channel because I could not find an unbiased opinion to save my life on this platform. So when I have dipshits telling me that my opinion is wrong, and that I'm not down for the cause, your cause. The only cause I really care about is the real shift cause. Everything else is just noise to me. I feel the way I feel, I react to things honestly 100% of the time, and there is absolutely no ulterior motive behind what I say. I'm simply here to tell you what films I think suck and what films I think are worth watching. Do what you will with that information, but save the fake outrage bullshit for the channels that you normally watch. Oh great, just what I needed to hear today, some more Cancel Joe bullshit. Hello, are you there? Wait, who the hell are you?
My name is Grifter Joe, and I hate everything.
Great. You trolls just had to run your mouth, didn't you? Now there's a Joe who actually does hate everything. I hope you're happy.
I'll be happy when Hollyweird stops making movies with girls in them. You got a problem with that, soy boy?
I have someone I need you to meet.
Y'all be cool. Right on.